What is going on? So this video is to go along with the PDF, How to Heal and Prevent Heel cord Problems. This is a mobility stability program for my good friend Tiancum. And he has had some heel cord problems. He told me he injured his heel, his Achilles tendon a few years ago, 3 years or so. And since then he's had recurring pain, just hasn't been able to get rid of it. And he's also had a few other injuries which were because of his Achilles tendon. He said he hurt his knee and pulled a hammy just because he's been compensating and just cannot get rid of his heel pain, his Achilles tendon problems. So I'm excited to help Tian come out because I've seen him in his prime. His human performance was amazing. We had some very fun times back in college, and this program should help him get back to it. So before I get into it, there are on the PDF some more information about habits that you can adopt to really take care of your heel cords, especially if there are problems for you. And common causes of problems in the first place that you can use to ideally avoid. And then like more specifics on programming, how many sets of each of these movements and how many reps or for how long, all of that stuff will be on the PDF. And then also help you identify your problem, whatever that is. For Tiancum today, his problem is it's an injury, so our main focus is to heal. We don't want to do anything else until we can heal it and we can start doing these mobilizations without pain. So with that, let's get into the mobilizations. A few of the things I'm using, I try to minimize what you have to use so you can do these things easily, but some of these things you just are going to give you the best progress and the best way to really get in there. So I got a softball, lacrosse ball. I'm going to be using a Voodoo Floss, which all it is a bike tube. I created this myself. You can buy them, but as you can see, it's just about 2 inches wide. These things can do a lot of good. I got a foam roller we're going to be using, and then just this step, which you can use some other things to replace that with. I also have an ankle board, which if you have heel problems or ankle problems, it might be very worth your investment to get something like that or even create it. You can do a lot of really good for your ankle, and not only just rehab but just strengthen it up so you can avoid problems as well. So let's get into the mobilizations. So I'm going to start off strong with the Voodoo Floss on the Achilles. So Tiancum told me he notices the most amount of pain down low towards his heel. I'm going to take my sock off for this. But yeah, so he said it's down low. I'm not sure how low, but that's about as low as it goes before it's the bone. So for the Voodoo Floss, the goal is to get it as tight as you can right where it hurts the most. So with it being so low, we're probably going to need to wrap up the ankle. So let me show you how to do this. The Voodoo Floss, you're going to be wrapping it really tight. They say you start out at about 50% of full stretch strength. So say that's 100% stretch. We're going to want to do in between that and this. So just to give you an idea. So I'm going to start down here. And we're going to start pretty tight, but we're going to get even tighter. And you're really going to want to make this tight, like uncomfortably tight. So I'm starting to pull pretty tight. We're not going 100% stretch yet, but we're going more like 70. We're more than half. And I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna try to cover that heel cord, if you can see. I'm gonna start right on the heel. I'm gonna keep it really tight. And then I'm gonna overlap it as well. Get real tight on where it hurts the most. It might take some practice, but yeah, just do your best. And just keep going up until you finish it off. So, at the top, just make sure you grab a spot that you can tuck the end in there so you can tie it off. Okay, now that I have it on, we're just gonna do some toe raises and calf raises. We want to move through the joint as much as we can while it's on there pretty stiff. So I'm just gonna use this. You can use whatever you've got around. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it the other way so you can see my ankle. So yeah, just gonna get on here. I'm just gonna try to get it through the full range of motion as much as I can. As far down and up as I can go. Okay, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to do some toe raises now. If you can see, my skin is starting to turn white because the blood flow is not really going in there now. But that's good. You can go until it starts to be tingling. If it starts to tingle, then you want to hurry and take off the Voodoo Floss. But you should have about 2 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna hurry and pull it off. You see my skin color? Just to show you, it's really tight. I'm starting to feel it. So, if you see lines on your leg, that's a good sign that you've got it tight enough. You really want it tight so you get the soft tissues moving in there and get plenty of pressure on that Achilles cord, or the heel cord. So you're gonna want to do that. And again, this information is more on the PDF, but I do at least 2 sets, do 2 rounds of that on your heel. If that's hurting when you do it, that's a good sign. It should be a good hurt. You feel like it's working. You can do that up to 3 times a day, but I recommend just doing it 2 or 3 times a week, just to make sure you're being consistent. If you want to do more than that, I wouldn't do more than 3 times in one day. Give it some time to work out. Okay, so that's the Voodoo Floss on your Achilles, and you can do that as well on an ankle board or a balance board, and I'll show you the movements that I recommend doing on the balance board. I guess I'll just show you right now. So, doing the same thing, once you once you wrap up your heel, your Achilles tendon real good, I'd hop on here on a board, and you're gonna go front and back 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 10. You go side to side 10 times. Try to get as much range of motion out of your ankle as you possibly can. Really, really force it as much as you can. Get that ankle moving. My ankle is not a good example of mobility. I've messed it up too much. But you still can improve no matter where you're at. So do that 10 times, and then you're gonna wanna go all around, touching the ground with every edge of it. Just really get that range of motion in that ankle. And 5 clockwise, 5 counterclockwise. By the end of that, with the Voodoo Floss, you'll probably want to take it off. But that's going to be really good. Keep your eye on it. But with the Voodoo Floss on, it shouldn't be hurting your heel cord too much. You should see a lot of progress actually by doing that. Okay, so that's number 1. The second mobilization is the calf smash and pressure wave. I like to do that with the foam roller. So I'll show you how to do it. So all we're doing is we're gonna put a lot of pressure on the Achilles tendon. So I'll bring this down a little bit. So we're gonna start out just rolling it out just to warm it up. Get both on there. Warm up your calf. Rotate it around. And then when you're ready, so we're just gonna put your foot on there and just try to get some pressure. If that's super painful, that might be a good sign that you need to spend time doing the calf smash. And just, so the goal is to start low. I'll go from the side now. You want to start low, right at the bottom of your Achilles, and work your way up. And as you go, if there's a really painful spot, just hang out there and then pressure wave. After you've spent some time on it, rotate back and forth. So I'll show it. So if we're going along, I'm going to put extra pressure on mine. Right there's pretty sensitive. I'm going to hold it, and then I'm going to rotate both sides. Again, my heel cord is not injured, so this might be hard for you to do if you have some sensitivities in there. But this is a good goal for you to get to. If you can get to this point where you're putting a lot of pressure on it and it's not hurting that much, that's your goal. Just keep rolling down. Go all the way up your calf. And work out those soft spots. Painful spots. So that's a calf smash and pressure wave. The foam roller is going to do plenty good. You can use a softball, but yeah, if you don't have a foam roller. Okay, number 3, mobilization. We're gonna do the tack, twist, and floss. So for this one, I like to use my softball. It's kind of got a grippy side. It can kind of stick to my skin. I've also used the little crossball to get in there even better because it's a little smaller. But this is what you're gonna do. You're literally just putting it in your Achilles tendon, especially those sensitive spots. And you're just gonna push as hard as you can handle and just twist. Tack, twist, and floss. So that's a tack and that's a twist, but then the floss is moving up and down as you go. So it might take a little bit of getting used to. So to do it, you're just gonna get in there where it hurts and just really loosen it up. Really want to make sure that ball has got some grippy surface so it can grab your skin and rotate it. I don't know if you can even see, but so you're going to want to go up and down. So that's the tack twist. So start out with that. If you can start to do the floss, that's going to just get your soft tissues working a lot better, moving together a little bit better, and work out the scar tissue. Another way to get into it is just, if you can get into this position from behind, get the other side of your leg, just do the same thing. So yeah, that's it. If that's a little bit too hard for you, I'm going to show you an alternative. You can just grab a foam roller or something, just put your ankle over, and all you're going to do is cross over one of your legs. So you find that spot that hurts, and you're gonna use the front of your other leg to dig into it. You're gonna sit on it. So this is a way to do it without needing extra equipment. Yeah, that feels pretty dang good. You can see it really getting in there, really digging into that Achilles tendon. So there's those. And then number 4, we're gonna do the 2-ball smash and floss. This one's a little bit upstream from your Achilles tendon, but it's all kind of working together. So, and this is a good way to tell if you have a hot spot in the first place. So let me show you what that one looks like. I'm using a lacrosse ball and a softball, and I'm just gonna lay. So we're going on both sides of your leg. You're just gonna really try to push into that. There is a difference. Yeah, a lot of people say you dig a lacrosse ball into your muscle, it's gonna hurt no matter what, but it might have a feeling where it hurts, but it feels good at the same time. So if it feels like that, that is a hot spot. If it's like super sensitive, then that's your body saying it needs some attention. Mine's not too bad right now. But yeah, check this out. I'm curious, Tiancum, if if you have some sensitivity if it seems overly sensitive or not. But either way, this is going to be something to really help your lower leg out, and this can really help with shin splints too. I don't know if you've ever had problems with that. So the 2-ball method is you're doing the same thing. You're flossing with your ankle coming up and down, and you're pushing in from above, and you're working along the top as well. So yeah, try that one out. And last mobilization is just doing a plantar rollout with a lacrosse ball or something hard that you have. You mentioned your pain was pretty low on your heel, so I'd recommend trying to roll it out. You can even lay down and just roll out the bottom of your heel just as much as you can get pressure on it. You can really get in there. It'll do some good. Especially if you notice it's like especially sensitive. But also working on that heel is going to be good to do. Roll out that heel. And keep your eye out for those hot spots. So those are the mobilizations. Let's get into the stability exercises. The mobility stuff I'd recommend doing for at least a week or two, especially since it has been such a problem. Spend some time with that, and then slowly add in the stability stuff. Once you can do all the mobilizations without pain, then you really can start amping it up, start including some stability exercises. The first 1 or 2 I recommend doing, if you can start doing them without too much pain, especially the balancing. That's going to really help with the rehabilitation process. So, alright, so the first one is just a single leg balance. You've probably done this before, but just to show you, all you're doing is balancing. You can use your board, your ankle board, or if you have a Bosu ball, all you're going to do is balance for 5 minutes. You're just gonna, that's all it is. You've probably done it before, so that's gonna really help out with a lot of things. And then, so toe and calf raises I showed you when I was doing the voodoo floss. Those are important to do. And then the third one is doing the ankle board without the voodoo floss if you can. If you can get to the point where it doesn't hurt as bad, do it again without the voodoo floss. So yeah, just front and back, side to side, around the world. Do a couple sets of those for each ankle. And then I'm going to give you, so yeah, this is as you go, just keep building it up. I'm going to show you the fast hops. It's just a simple thing. Find something that's pretty thin, it's not that tall. All we're going to do is go up and down, just one leg at a time. So all you're doing is, oh, don't put it on a slippery surface. Okay, so all you're doing is going up and down. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going up. Just like that. And I just have some time on there. Again, we're just slowly trying to stress your Achilles tendon a little bit more. And then the last one is to step up and over. So you can use one of these guys, or if you have like a bench that's even taller than this, that would work. But I'll show you what movement I'm looking for. Let me slide this over on the carpet. So to go up and over, it's just step up and down. So this is another way to increase the stress on your Achilles tendons and stabilize them. So that's it. If that gets to the point where it's pretty easy, let me know. I got a lot more things for you to continue to stabilize it and continue to mobilize it, but that's a good place to start. So after a few weeks of that, if you could get to the point, you're ready to either get more sport specific. If you're problem free at that point, if you've done this program for say 2 to 6 weeks, and you can do it without pain, start getting more sport specific what you're wanting to do. And then if you're still problematic at that point, you just got to be honest and ask yourself if you saw any like progress in your performance or in your pain level. Did you see progress? If you did, then that's a good sign. It might mean you just got to keep spending more time with it, and you got to just be careful and not push it too hard too soon. If it really isn't progressing, I would definitely look into talking to a doctor of some sort, somebody that you trust. But it also might just be a time thing. You might have to adapt your mobilizations. But yeah, you can heal a lot of serious problems, and I believe that your situation can really be healed. Tiancum, it might just take and it might just take a little bit more patience than you want to give it. But yeah, it's worth it. And then yeah, if you have other problems like Tiancum, you've got some knee things going on, and hamstring, go back into the Facebook group or the Facebook page. I'm going to be adding more mobilizations so that you can deal with any part of your body and mobilize it, heal it, and then stabilize it. So yeah, that's it. A lot of simple stuff, but I hope you see this process. You can repeat this over and over for yourself. It works. I promise it works, and it does miracles. I've seen it do miracles for myself and quite a few other people. It's pretty exciting to see when you got that progress and you're getting back to your full function. So trust the process, and you'll get back to it. So yeah, lastly, if you are in the group, I hope you continue to ask questions and help other people with their challenges and share your experiences and successes. But if you're not in the group and you want a more interactive community, check out the Human Performance Facebook group. And yeah, if you want access to more mobilizations and stability videos, check us out. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.